my perspective is tanking is loser mentality. Like, I've never been around anyone. You show me someone that wants to lose or thinks about losing, like, I'll show you a loser. That's losers. That's not my stuff. And so I don't like losing. I don't want to ever talk about losing. We try to win. And the draft works. If you don't win, you don't have a good team, you get a good pick. But if you purposely trade for players and then don't play them, trying to lose games, like, I think it's bad for the NBA. I think it's bad. I think Adam Silver knows it. Organizations know it. It's got to change. It will change.
Suns owner Matt Ishbia weighing in on the topic that's been on everyone's mind in the NBA lately as we look at some of the concepts that are under consideration in the league office to try to address the tanking issue, as you all see here. What sticks out to you about some things the league is throwing around as a potential solution? I'll start with you, Steve.
Well, I think we talked about it. We both kind of feel like the odds for the teams outside of the 6 playoff spots should just be flattened. You get the same amount of lottery balls. I think that's where the conversation should start for me, because I think then we can keep the draft, which I think is still interesting and exciting. And then we can talk about incentivizing teams to either get in and not try to avoid being in the play-in or being in the playoffs. So any team that made the top 6, you're out of the lottery. Everyone else flat odds. And then I think we just have to worry about teams continuing to get top picks year after year. So once you get in maybe the top 10, you can't be in the top 10 the next year or whatever it may be, having some provisions. But I just think, why bother having the lottery and all the different odds? Dallas won it last year. Let's just flatten the odds so everyone's got the same incentives to try to win, to try to build winning cultures, to try to make their fan bases buy into the concept and make our league just a little bit better on the competitive side.
Yeah, I'll preface it with this. I don't have the answers. Yeah. Somebody much smarter than me needs to figure this out. But for right now, as long as teams are incentivized to tank, this is a infrastructure problem, right? And I know, we threw up some of those graphics and they are trying to come up with things. I don't have a great answer. I saw something really interesting that, once you're eliminated from the playoffs, then you can start to try to earn points to improve your draft status, which would incentivize teams to put a good product on the floor and go win games, not have these games where, 5 starters are sitting out for a high ankle sprain, which Dirk always played through. But
Dirk, you were always out there.
Always one of the toughest. I don't know. I truly don't know the answer, but it is an issue and it needs to be addressed. And it sounds like everybody is being pretty thoughtful about it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So right now, of course, the teams with the 3 worst records in the NBA all have a 14% chance at the first overall pick and a 52.1% chance at a top 4 pick. But the team with the worst record in the league can't fall lower than 5 in the lottery. To BG's point about it being incentivized to do that so that your chances go up. How big of an issue right now is this? Obviously, it's something we're talked about a lot, but when we think about the things right now in the league that we want to see fixed or rectified, where do you put this?
Yeah, I mean, it's up there. It's up there. You have to be able to compete to win games. This is what our league is based on. And, I always say there was some tanking going on maybe down the stretch, a little bit of jockeying for position. But in early February, I don't think I don't ever remember that. So we can't have that in our game, pre-All-Star game, the jockeying for position. So I do agree with both of you guys. We need to change up. I don't have all the answers either. I'm a big fan of also flattening the odds. Everybody gets the same chance. If you put a rule in that you can't get top 5 maybe 2 years in a row, so it doesn't happen what Orlando did in the 90s when they got Shaq and Penny Hardaway in back-to-back years. Maybe you put a rule for that. I also would probably change with the trades, with the protected picks. I think that's where some of the guys want to keep their top 4 protected. So just get rid of the protections. If you want to trade your first-round pick, you trade it. If you don't, you don't. But to me, that also is an issue with guys and jockey for position to get the top 4 because they have the top 4 protected picks. So all that is sort of like BG said, it's incentivized for teams to tank and lose. And you can't blame the teams. They're actually just playing under the rules. Yeah. They're just playing under the rules. So we need to change a little bit the system our teams are competing under, and then we need to just go back out there to put the best product out there and compete.
Yeah, one of the things, it feels so glaring right now because it feels like there's a third of the league currently trying to tank. And when you have call it 9 teams, it is very, very obvious. I do sort of like to think of, if you're in the lottery multiple years in a row, like you got to go to the back of the line, you know, at some point. And like a team like Utah is maybe a good example because the trades that they made and some of the young talent they have, like it feels like next year it needs to be the year of like, hey, we got to go try to win. And we got to go try to put a good product on the floor. I do believe that tanking is a losing mentality, and the trouble that you get in is like you have these young players. So you've been in the lottery, you get these young draft picks. Those guys need to learn how to win. We all came into this league not knowing how to win in the NBA, and we had vets and we had great examples to teach you how to do it. And you know, if you're a young player and you get drafted and you've been on a lottery team for the first 4 years of your career, 3 years of your career, your team and the organization is doing you a disservice by continually putting a product that just can't be successful. So at some point, teams have to make a stand. And you know, if you've had 3 lottery picks, it's time. Like you got to go do something.
He said enough is enough.
I think a lot of these issues are tied together, right? Like you have tanking, you have load management, which is tied to tanking in a way. You have player movement. How do you build teams? You have the apron, the tax. It's making it difficult to make trades. So a lot of these things are really tied together. I really think our league's great. Why is it great? Because we have incredible players and the playoffs are fantastic. If we can clean up some of these issues in the regular season, the draft, player movement, load management, the amount of games, whatever it is, just to make the regular season more impactful. I know we've tried with the in-season tournament. The league can only get better. So we already have a great product. We already have incredible players. We have the playoffs, which are outstanding. How can we clean up some of these things? I think it's upside. You know, if we start to look at some of our maybe not mistakes, but misdirected opportunities here, and we start to course correct, the league can even be better than what it is right now, and it's at an all-time high.
Yeah. I'm Taylor Rooks with NBA on Prime. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see interviews with your favorite players, experience the most exciting moments from around the league, and see what the NBA on Prime crew is up to all season long. And remember, you can hang out with us live each week during the NBA season, only on Prime.